All right, NASCAR fans, it's time to keep pushing on into round two of the playoffs here. I'm Jason Mattis, of course, with Winning Bets, and this is my weekly NASCAR show where we put together, joined each and every single week by William Blackwell. How's it going there, man?
It's going good, man. I am looking forward to talk about this weekend's race at the Talladega Superspeedway. It is going to be very exciting for a lot of reasons. One being they're going to a track quite anybody can win there, but two, this is the second race of the round of 12, and the round of 12 is filled with unknown tracks. Las Vegas, which is known to race like a plate track under the lights after a restart happens. And then you got Talladega, anything can happen. And then you got the Roval to end things out, and that's always a wreck fest and always something to look forward to. But this week's Talladega, and it's going to be fun.
You know, I got to give you a shout out and give you some credit. Did you notice on the restart there at the beginning of stage three, one of the announcers, I can't remember which one on NBCSN, said, "Boy, they're running like a restrictor plate here to start off stage three." And I was like, "Yeah, William said that on the show last week. Like he said, the first 5 to 10 laps runs like a restrictor plate." So kudos to you, man. You were right on that thing. Kudos to you. Let's remind everybody what we do around here. We give everybody our picks for a chance to win $25,000 on the Jackpot Races app, $10,000 on the Nbc Sports Predictor app, and another $1,000 over on the Fox Bet Super 6 app. Before we do all that, though, guys, I'm clearly battling a cold here, so bear with me here. We always recap the previous week, which was obviously in Las Vegas Motor Speedway at the South Point 400. Danny Hamlin went ahead and took that checker flag. Let's go ahead and hear your opening thoughts on what I thought that was a very, very boring race. And I don't know if that was because I come off the high of Bristol and the excitement, everything that was, but yeah, just a boring race to me. What were some of your thoughts on the South Point 400?
The South Point 400 at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway this past weekend was a snooze fest. And if this says anything, I didn't even watch the whole race. I usually watch the race start to finish. I probably watched maybe 50 to 60 laps of the race. It was so boring. Nothing happened. No side by side action. And I thought it was kind of funny where we saw NASCAR have the best race of the season last week at Bristol go to the worst race of the season at Las Vegas.
Yep.
Just very boring overall.
Yep, no, you're exactly right. Extremely boring. The only thing that saved me, so I was able to watch the whole race, is it was going on right now at the same time as Sunday Night Football. So I had football on the big screen, and I moved NASCAR over to the tablet. I mean, it was such a boring race right there. Joe Gibbs Racing, though, they were strong all night. They had three of their cars, and Hamlin, Truex, and Busch all ran in the top 10 in all three stages. Otherwise, Christopher Bell looked like his just bad luck and his unfortunes really continued on into Las Vegas. I'm wondering, to you, are Bowman and Byron done? Do you think they're done? I mean, Byron is 4 points below the cutoff. Bowman, I think, is around 13 or so points below the cutoff. You think they're done? They just don't seem to be having it in this playoffs. What do you think?
I think you got to look at it as a must-win situation. You got to remember, last round, Kurt Busch, he did really well in the first race at Darlington, and then he had a DNF at Richmond because he had a blown tire. Then at the end, he did mediocre at Bristol. But you do not want to have a DNF. And I expect them two Hendrick drivers, which are known to run up front at the plate races, to maybe run in the back to play it safe so they don't get involved in wrecks and make themselves into a must-win situation as they go into the Roval 1 week later. So I wouldn't count them two drivers out yet. We got to see what's going to go on this weekend at Talladega because if they get involved in a wreck, it's over. They're not going to win the Roval. But if they do good, I don't know, they might be able to sneak into the round of eight.
I mean, that's going to be an interesting strategy, though, for two guys below the cutoff line, because if they hang towards the back, that means they're going to miss points in stages one and two and really gamble for it at the end to either, really finish up in the top 10 or maybe you can take that checkered flag. So I get that strategy. I've even
Yeah,
got that noted here a little bit later when I talk about some other drivers. So I'm on that. But boy, is that a risky strategy to kind of forfeit
yeah,
points early on in the race.
yeah. But finishing top five, you'll get more points than you would
Yeah,
probably finishing P5 in both stages.
that's right.
It's more of a long run type of deal. It's like a big investment, if you will. You're gonna start off really bad, but you work your way up.
Yep. No, exactly right there. Cool. Good to get your thoughts on there. But yeah, overall, yeah, boring race at Las Vegas. Stage three was ran entirely up under the green flag right there. I guess the most drama came around stage two when the Hendrick drivers decided to pit. And then you had the Joey Gase incident, which kind of ruined their pit strategy right there and really, I think, took Hendrick right out of the race. And then Cody Ware, I guess, made it a little bit interesting there towards the end of the race, holding Hamlin up and giving Chase Elliott a chance to possibly catch him. But that was really about the only drama in that race. Boring race, as you said right there. Did not enjoy that one whatsoever. And not what NASCAR wants, obviously, in a playoff setting. So they get a boring race at Vegas. They're not going to get boring here at the Superspeedway going into Talladega this week. This one's going to be full of excitement at the YellaWood 500. Remind you guys, they've already been at 3 Superspeedways so far this season. McDowell, Blaney, and Keselowski are all the winners so far in 2021. And let me also remind you, we always talk about how anything can happen at Superspeedways. Well, McDowell and Keselowski, they led 1 lap, and Blaney led 7 laps. So don't tune this thing off until the very end, because a guy can literally come up out of nowhere. What are some of the things you're looking forward to here this weekend at Talladega?
This weekend at Talladega, NASCAR is running the same package they ran just a little over a month ago at Daytona. And the first 2 races of the year was something totally different. The runs are a lot faster. But this go around the track and package, the runs are going to come a little slower. And back at Daytona, the teams didn't really know when a run will happen. They thought it would form a little sooner than it did. So they waited to the very end, and it was hard to make a move. But this go around, instead of making a move with 2, 3 to go, I can see it happening around 10 to go, 8 to go, because how slow the runs form. And I think that will be a big factor.
Yep, I agree with you right there. Also see multiple wrecks really obviously around the end of stage 1, stage 2, and at the end of stage races. I even guarantee that this thing will go to OT, as guys battle and there's wrecks there towards the end. I bet this ends at an OT kind of format situation right there. And let me also remind you guys, one other point I want to make. We've been seeing throughout this playoffs that at the end of the race, top 10s are just littered absolutely with absolute playoff drivers. You may get the occasional Ross Chastain, but large in part, every race in this playoffs, top 10 dominated by playoff drivers. Well, last year at this race on October 4th, only 3 drivers in the top 10 were playoff drivers. The other 7 guys were just random guys that weren't in the playoffs. So when we talk about the unpredictability, we don't make this stuff up. You're at a super speedway and literally anything can happen. You ready to get on into it?
I am ready.
All right, let's go ahead and jump on into it. Let's remind everybody what we do. We got the Jackpot Races app where you can win $25,000. They give you 5 groups of drivers. You got to pick the driver to finish best amongst the group, and then you got to give them a top 3. And I want to go ahead and give you a shout out here, William. Another shout out. You deserve a second one here for tonight. I want to, and it feels weird to give myself a shout out. It feels weird to pat myself on the back, so you can take all this credit. This is the standings from last week's races here at the South Point 400. You can see DD Cruiser came in first with 430 points, and she took home a cool 250 points. DD Cruiser, William, that's my mom. That is my mom. She watched this show each and every single week. She doesn't watch NASCAR. She could care less about NASCAR, but, I've got this channel. She supports me, watches all my videos, plays all the fantasy games that I put out, whether it's soccer, NASCAR, football. She puts our 2, knowledge and entries together. She puts that together, and she forms her own one. So this was a mix of your entries, my entries, and she put it together, and we won my mom $250. So congratulations, William. You're bringing the knowledge to the show, and you're helping my mom out and putting some money up in her pocket. Appreciate that, man.
Man, that is awesome, actually. That made my day. Wow. That's pretty cool.
I know. And just to let you know, literally how much my mom doesn't, watch NASCAR, I texted her on Monday and was like, you won? And she calls me frantically being like, I won what? And I'm like, you won Jackpot Races. Like, you didn't win the jackpot? But of all the people that play that game, the thousands of people, Mom, you were in first. Like, you did it. You took home $250. Obviously, she was ecstatic, and she thanked us, up and down. But she's the one putting the entries. It's a combination of ours. So at the end of the day, she's doing it. But kudos to you, man. Good job, William. Let's see if we can't hook somebody up this week. Let's jump on into Group 1, where you got to pick between Larson, Hamlin, Logano, Blaney, Elliott, and Keselowski. Who you got there, man?
This is a really tough round. All the drivers right here, besides Kyle Larson, are really smart when it comes to plate racing. And generally, I look at the Penske organization. This round, you got Blaney and Keselowski. Those are 2 great drivers. They both won this year at a plate race. Keselowski won Talladega, and Blaney won Daytona. But I think Brad Keselowski will be the safe bet. Right now, he is kind of in racing for points right now, and I expect him to play it safe. And right around at the back, and pretty much earlier to what I was saying, is going to be an investment for a better finish than just getting stage points.
All right, you're on Brad Keselowski. Well, I'm also on Brad Keselowski. I like that entry right there. Look, he's got the most wins among active drivers at super speedways with 7. He's got 11 top fives out of his last 50 races here at super speedways. He's 4 points above the cutoff, and look for him to like kind of pull a rabbit out of the hat. I told you guys he won Talladega earlier this year. He led 1 lap. He led obviously the most important lap of all of them. He led the last one. So just look for him to kind of do what Williams says. I kind of agree with that strategy of kind of let the mayhem, let the wreckage kind of happen up in front of you, hang back, see if he can't pull something else out of that hat and get himself a nice win here in Group 1. Let's move it over now to Group 2 where we got to pick between Truex, both Busch brothers, Harvick, Byron, and Bowman. I'm going to go ahead and go with Kevin Harvick here. So far at the 3 super speedways this season, he's got a fourth, and a 15th place finish, so doing really good there. He's got 3 wins and 19 top fives overall in this season. And really just to piggyback on what you said, I had this really earmarked for Kevin Harvick because he's below the cutoff line currently going on into this race here. And I believe sometimes the best offense is to play defense. And I agree with you. Kind of hang towards the back, let the wreckage happen up in front of you, and then make that charge at some point late in the stage 3. So, yeah, sometimes the best offense is to play defense. Don't be surprised if Kevin Harvick, though, is hanging towards the back, but then he makes that charge up to the front. Who's it going to be for you there in Group 2 there, William?
Are we exchanging notes or something like that? Because I got the same pick as you. Kevin Harvick, you nailed it. He's going to ride around in the back, stay away from the mayhem, and make the bigger investment, and that's going for a better finish.
Okay, what about for Group 3? You got to pick between Bell, Reddick, Dillon, Almirola, Chastain, and McDowell.
McDowell, a lot of people might pick him and Chastain and drivers like that. But you know what? I think a good driver in this round will be Christopher Bell. And here's why. Christopher Bell, he's up there. He might get wrecked out. But if he doesn't, he's going to bring it home inside the top 5. And that's what you need for the Jackpot Racing app. And I think Bell will be the safe bet.
And of all the points where we talk about this strategy of maybe hanging towards the back, he's so far below that cut line. He almost just needs to go for it. He needs points in every stage. So, yeah, I kind of like that right there. I had it between Austin Dillon and Almirola, and I actually chose Austin Dillon in this one. Look, Dillon beat him 2 of the 3 super speedways earlier on this season when he finished 3rd and 8th, so I like that. And he's got the better driver rating at super speedways since 2018, so go ahead and give me Austin Dillon. All right, for Group 4, we got between DiBenedetto, Wallace, Stenhouse, Buescher, Priest, and LaJoie. I picked Ryan Priest. His worst finish since 2018 is 18th when he finishes here at the when he finishes. He's got some finishes outside of 18th, but when he finishes, his worst finish is 18th. I like that. If he brings home P18 in this race, I think he'll go ahead and win this group. And in doing so since 2018, he's got 5 top 10s and 3 top 5s. I'll go ahead and take Ryan Priest in this one.
Well, for this round, it's pretty tough. You got a lot of great drivers. But I'm going to pick a guy that I used to pick all the time at plate races. And a lot of people would assume I overhyped him and made him sound overrated. And it's pretty obvious at this point. It is a one-time winner here at Talladega, and it's Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And if there's anyone out there that's going to spoil the party this weekend at Talladega that's a non-playoff driver, it will be him in that 47 Camaro. He's going to be really fast. He's going to be up front leading laps, and I would not count him out at all.
All right, well, tell us who's going to win between Group 5, where you got Jones, Newman, Custer, Briscoe, Suarez, and Castle. Who's going to win there?
A lot of them are going to wreck out, honestly, if not all of them. And I think the safe bet here will be Chase Briscoe, and here's why. This year in the Daytona 500, did not wreck out at all. Talladega, he did finish, if I'm not mistaken. Even the Daytona Oval, things went south there. But still, Briscoe is pretty reliable when it comes to plate racing. He does not wreck out, and he will bring it home inside the top 20, which that's all you need for this round right here. And I think that will happen. Or on a typical weekend, top 20 will be doable. But for this round, I think this weekend be pushing it to maybe top 10, which I think Briscoe can do.
Okay, I think Briscoe can do it as well. I'm also on Chase Briscoe right there. To kind of pick it off what you said, his worst finish at the Super Speedways is 21st. He pulls something like that off, he'll win this group. He's got the best driver rating amongst drivers in this group, so it was easy for me. Your guy, Chase Briscoe, I'm all over him as well. All right, who's going to finish top 3? What do you got here?
All right, finishing third, I am going to have the 20 car of Christopher Bell. I think he's going to have a great day, gain a lot of points, but ultimately will miss out on the checker flag of what he needs to advance to the round of 8. Finishing runner-up will be the 2 car of Brad Keselowski. Earlier I stated he's in it for an investment, and he's going to ride around in the back hoping to have a great finish, which I think will happen finishing P2. And I kind of hinted at it earlier. My winner is going to be a non-playoff driver, and that would be the 47 car of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Stenhouse, a lot of people might refer him to Mr. Excitement. He is going to be exciting this weekend. He's going to make a lot of aggressive moves, and I'm calling it now. He will set off at least two big wrecks. Two big wrecks. That's what I'm calling.
He's going to cause the big wrecks, but not get caught up in the wrecks?
Yeah, that's what he did a couple years ago to win Daytona. He can do it again.
All right, nice. I like that right there. All right, I'm with you. We will not be a playoff driver winning this race. I'm going to go ahead and go with Austin Dillon. I've got him obviously winning one of the groups. I like Austin Dillon taking that checkered flag. Right behind him will be Ryan Preece. And I do like your Brad Keselowski pick, but I put him in third as opposed to second place. So like what you're thinking right there with Brad Keselowski, and I'm right there with you. All right, that's how we see Talladega, the YellaWood 500, going ahead and unfolding. Should definitely be an exciting race. This one's not going to be a boring. This one won't be a snooze fest like we were in Vegas. I'm actually looking forward to this. And I also think it's a big race, obviously, because then you got the Roval coming up. There's probably 3 to 5 guys that'll probably win, that are really in contention to win at the Charlotte Roval. So yeah, anyone's game here at Talladega. I think you're going to see fireworks here this week. Anything else for you, or do you want to go ahead and tell the people what you've got going on there at your YouTube channel before we let you drop?
Before I give a little more info on my channel, I want to give this information out to the viewers. If you're looking for a driver and deciding who to pick, I would not pick a driver that is towards the end of like the playoff standings, that is way outside by points, because they're going to be the driver that is going to go out this weekend and make some bold and aggressive moves. So they got nothing to lose. So I would not pick them. I will pick the drivers that does have something to lose, because they're going to play it more safe and cautiously. So I'm just giving some advice for maybe you can take, but there you go out there. But on my YouTube channel, I do something called a weekly Pick 5 contest, and all you got to do to enter is comment down below in the video your top 5 of this weekend's race, and if you go 5 for 5, you get an autograph of your choice. And we did have a winner just a little over a week ago, someone getting 4 for 5. He's getting an unsigned hero card, and for me sending an outlay, he's also getting some cool other stuff. So there you go. And just in general, if you win, you're not just going to win one thing, you're going to win many things, because it makes my day when people comment and view my videos. And same for this. It's awesome to see this past weekend your mother winning $250. It's awesome, and I don't care about myself. I just care about making other people's days a lot better.
Good stuff over there. If you guys need his contact information, Twitter and YouTube, you guys can find it in this video description. Jump on over to his YouTube page and check out his great content. All right, we'll let him drop, and I'll go ahead and give you guys the other picks for $10,000 and $1,000. Enjoy the race there Sunday after. I think this was a Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock, if I recall correctly. I think I saw. All right, man. Enjoy that race, and we look forward to having you back here next week to recap it, and look forward to the Charlotte Roval.
All right, man.
All right, well, there you guys have it. Those are our picks for a chance to win $25,000 over on the Jackpot Races app. Now let's move it over to the Nbc Sports Predictor App, where you can win $10,000. This is where you got to pick the driver to finish best amongst the group in all 3 stages. And then you also got to give them a top 3. Hey guys, don't also forget, I'm giving away $25 each and every single week. All you got to do is join the league, compete against your fellow Winning Bet supporters, and you can win that $25 if you have the most points. If you need that league information, it's in the video description. So just grab it, join the league, compete, and have a lot of fun. Let's take a look and see who won last week at Las Vegas. I mean, of course, guys, it was DD Cruiser. My mom, of course, said she crushed it. I mean, she absolutely crushed it. You can see right there, she's top of this leaderboard. She had 85 points. And if you're wondering, yes, I had to pay her. My mom, yeah, she don't like NASCAR. Or not that she doesn't like NASCAR. She just doesn't watch NASCAR. But she's competitive. She's just like us. She watches, sports in general. She's competitive. So yes, I had to pay my mom $25. She ain't gonna let me off the hook. So I went ahead and PayPal'd her $25. So yeah, and as you guys can see right there, sometimes I talk about here, sometimes like I'll have the same entry on my Jackpot Races app and on the NBC Sports Predictor app, and sometimes I'll make it different. Well, this is a classic example of why I have the same entry. I mean, she kicked ass on the Jackpot Races app. She kicked ass on the NBC Sports Predictor app. So yeah, I mean, I think the questions on these apps are different enough to where you can put in the same entry, and if you catch fire one week, you can score money on both of those. So good job, DD Cruiser. Good job, Mom. I know you're smiling over there watching this week's video, so I'll gladly give you the shout-out you wanted, and hopefully we can make sure that maybe next week This episode, we're calling out another one of these great Winning Bet supporters here on Winning Jackpot Races of the NBC Sports Predictor App. With that being said, though, let's go ahead and move it on into my selections here. For stage one, and that said, I did go different here. Restrictor plate, God knows anything can happen, and we just talked about it there with William. So on this entry, yeah, I did go a little bit different, or not a little bit, I went a lot different on my top three. For stage one, I got to go ahead and go with Brad Keselowski. For stage two, I'm going to go ahead and go with Kevin Harvick. For stage three, I'm going to go ahead and go with Ryan Blaney. And my top three, I went Ross Chastain as the checkered flag winner. I went Eric Jones in P2. And I went Kevin Harvick in P3. So that's how I'm going to do it on the NBC Sports Predictor app. At the time of doing this recording, I literally just checked again before I jumped on here and did this here with William. There's still no Fox Bet Super 6 contest for $1,000. So don't have that on this on this video like we normally would. If they want to go ahead and put out a contest, we assume they are. I'll just go ahead and tweet my answers at that. Obviously, I would have liked to have been part of this week's NASCAR show, but they didn't have the contest up. So just look for me on Twitter. It's at WinningBetsPod. It's at WinningBetsPod. If that contest comes available to us, I'll go ahead and tweet out my 6 answers for the Fox Bet Super 6 app for $1,000. Otherwise, guys, good luck, man. This could be your week. It was DD Cruiser last week. It could be your week this week. Good luck with your picks, and we'll see you back here on next week's NASCAR show. That was a lot of fun. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and good luck with your picks. If interested in placing real sports bets, then check out my latest daily free sports betting video in the bottom right corner. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next contest.